Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. The good, the bad, and the ugly video games. Welcome to 1981, where we're playing the rest of the releases released at some point in 1981 in alphabetical order. The stragglers, if you will. We last left off with Demon IX. Interesting shooter for the arcade. And let's move on with our next game after Demon IX. Alright, we're now going to the IBM PC or MS-DOS, IBM PC Booter, PC Compatibles, all of those encompass Microsoft DOS here on the channel, and this is Dodgeball. We have no information except for a single screenshot of Dodgeball, so released at some point in 1981, this is Dodgeball by Cody Snyder. Way to go, Cody. Maybe this is just one of those IBM PC games that people play. This is also one of the first releases we've seen with dodgeball as the sport, but it looks like it's probably just bouncing balls and not actual people running around with dodgeball. All right, so this is interesting because it's telling me to do keyboard or joystick. This is the first IBM PC we've ever seen ask us to play with a joystick. We've only been playing with our fingers and a keyboard. So let's try it out. I want to see what the joystick's like. Yeah, there we go. So we get to calibrate the joystick setup system. All right, I'll play along. Move it to the right and fire. It's working. Move it to the left and fire. And to the bottom. And to the top. And center it. No way. No, this doesn't work. Let's see what happens. We'll push F2, and here we go. We're playing with the joystick on an IBM PC. And yes, there it is. I'm on the right side of the screen. I'm a ball. I'm playing as the dodgeball. We have no manual or information on this. If I push the button, what happens? Oh. If I push the button, I make some kind of radar. I don't know what that does, but it looks like I'm trying to get over to this side. I get over to this side, and I don't know what happened. I'm trying to pick up the ball, but I couldn't. Oh. So it is dodgeball. I'm dodging balls, but I don't really understand the objective just yet. Oh, over on the side, it opened up a door, so now I'm dodging my way around to get to the door on the other side. Well, we have some really interesting graphics. So remember, this is IBM PC, still very new. Looks like I can make my way to this side, and there you go. So you made it to the other end. Now we're on the next level. We have more balls to dodge. I don't know what... Oh, okay, so the radar, I tried the button to see what happens, and it looks like... Oh, I don't have any more. Oh, you only have one per round, it looks like. But at the bottom it says, how many rooms have you traversed? And that's as far as we get to go. So let's see what happens if we try it again. So let's do it again. Keyboard. We'll do joystick again. And very cool that we can play a joystick game on the IBM PC. But it looks like it's room by room. You move to the left. Once you get to the square, then it opens up a door. Then you go to through the door and you go to the next room. And the whole idea is to dodge the ball. So essentially it's not like a sport game. Like we're playing, I was expecting to see some sprites, like a television sports game, but no, it's just, you're literally a ball and you're dodging other balls. So there you go. I have a power-up. Well, not a power-up. I have an ability I can do to take away the balls that are around me, but you basically find the goal or open the goal by going to the left and then go back to the right. Oh, yeah, but you got to dodge. You got to dodge that ball. It's dodgeball. I'm trying to think if we played any other games, because I know there was something on the Magnavox Odyssey, not Odyssey 2, but Odyssey 1 that was, I think, dodgeball, but it was just, lights moving left and right. But for the life of me, I'm not sure. I think this might be one of the first dodgeball claimed video games. So interesting idea. Now I got to make my way all the way back around. For some reason, I'm getting vibes of this as like a Windows Entertainment Pack game. I'm not sure why. It just feels like I'm playing something that should have been programmed for that. Yeah, you have to make your way over to the left first, open up the door, and then make your way back to the right. Very cool. So yeah, it's great idea. Plays really well for 1981. I'm not doing very well, but the game is pretty cool. Great idea. All right, so yeah, it looks like they speed up, changes the game a little bit as you move, as you go to the left side, then go back to the right. All right, so let's do it again. Joystick, so cool. So first joystick IBM PC game. And at this point, you could Google it right now, what the IBM PC joystick looked like. it was rough. It is not something I've ever held in the palm of my hand. I've only seen it, but we played a lot of different systems with lots of different joysticks. This one is very similar to like the, it looks similar to the TI-99 or the Magnavox Odyssey 2. Darn, their joystick. It's like a single pin, very small joystick, not something big and clunky like on the Atari. Oh, I see what's happening. So the speed of the ball is determined by the objects in the middle. They're growing larger and smaller, and as they get smaller, watch what happens. All the balls speed up because I wonder if that has to do with the processor. That the processor speed is only going so fast, and then whenever it gets to, it doesn't have to draw as much on the screen, then it frees up, and then the balls move faster. Is my guess. If only we had the developer here on the show and they could explain everything. All right, so last try with dodgeball. We're doing joystick again and going to move over to the far left side, open up the door, make our way back to the right. And you got to kind of keep track of all the balls. This one, it's not too bad. It's randomizing the rooms too. It's not doing the same levels every single time because we did have triangles, I think, at one point. Oh, it bounced off the other one. I didn't realize that. But cool idea. It's one of the best IBM PC games we've played. The other ones we've seen are like a text adventure game, or if they tried to do an arcade game like Meteor. Oh, bad timing on that one. It doesn't really work as well, and it's mostly ASCII based. So to have something that looks like this, this is one of the best IBM PC games we've played so far on the channel. 1981, not bad. All right, let's see if we can make our way back to the right. Oh, yeah, as the shapes get smaller, everything just moves really fast. So moving over to the left again and coming back to the right. Let's see if we can get it done. Yeah. That's what it is. It reminds me of Jezball on the Microsoft Entertainment Pack. I don't know why. The bouncing balls back and forth. I know I'm not drawing anything like Jezball, but just the dodging, the balls bouncing around gives me vibes like that. But we're not going to see that for a long time. All right, so that was Dodgeball, released at some point in 1981. Pretty cool. So I'd say average for the time. It is a unique concept. I don't know if I can really push it above average or not, but it's a simple premise, and it works really, really well. So yeah, I don't want to say like it's above average. It's average. We'll say 3 stars for Dodgeball. Gets the job done, but a lot of new things there. First joystick game we've seen on PC computers, and then first like action game for PC computers. Still no scrolling, but single screen. All right, so that's Dodgeball for the IBM PC or MS-DOS. Let's move on and see what our next game is. We're now going to the Atari home computer. And all these games that we're going through in alphabetical order at this point, I say that they're the stragglers, but they really just don't get enough love. So if it's games that people haven't documented as well, or there's not as much information on, that's why they're here in the releases at some point in 1981. And that's why we see a lot of computer releases. A lot of these aren't documented as well as the console releases. Consoles just, everyone loves consoles because, you know, they're made for games. All right, so this is Dodge Racer. Let's take a look at Dodge Racer and see what it's about. Here is the box. Dodge Racer, this is by Synapse. Cool artwork for the front. Yes, we got some cars, maybe a driving racing game. Flip it over on the back and that can't be real. Requires joysticks? Yeah, most Atari games require joysticks. That's all the back of the box has? It's got to be a repro. No way that was the original. All right, for other artwork, let's see. We have advertisement flyer, get serious or else. Just play games for Atari home computer. And there it is, Dodge Racer. Drive your car through a torturous maze, avoiding the computer jam out of your car. The better you get, the faster the action. When you're ready, play 2 cars at once. Challenge the computer or your friends with 12 game options. I think it's a Dodge'em then. It's got to be a Dodge'em clone, right? Let's take a look at the manual for Dodge Racer. So this is for the Atari home computer, and this one is, yes, Synapse Software, which we've already seen, I believe, on the Coco, if it's the same company. Yeah, they made cross-platform games. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce ourselves. We are a new company dedicated to increasing the quality and range of programs available for the Atari computer. Dodge Racer is our first entry into the game market, and we hope that you'll be pleased with the program and have many hours of fun playing it. Wow, so this may have been an early 1981 release. If this was Synapse Software's first release, or maybe first entry, well, they say first entry into the game market here. I don't know if that means Atari or any computer entry. Neither the cassette nor the disc is copy protected. We believe those of you that buy the cassette might like a copy of Dodge Racer on a disc at some later time. The programs differ only to the fact that in order to allow the cassette program to load faster, we broke it into two parts. If you don't buy the disc version right off the bat, you'll have to copy the cassette version. As anyone who's ever programmed knows, it's a process that takes a lot of time. So keep this in mind when asked for a copy, even if your friends say pretty please. There you go. So not the Scott Adams, don't copy that floppy, but the Synapse Software version of it. So how do you load Dodge Racer? Well, for us, we don't need this, but look at all those instructions because that's what you'd had to do. And that's both the disc and cassette version. The object of the game is to clear the track of the 96 dots while avoiding a collision with your opponent's crash car. Your opponent may be the computer or another person. 1 point is scored for each dot that's cleared, and if you succeed in clearing the entire field, you're rewarded with a 50-point bonus and go on to face another round with more aggressive opponent. Yes, it is Dodge 'em, or if you're classic arcade, it's Head-On that we're about to play. How do you play? Well, it's made of 6 concentric lanes. So this is the most details we've ever had anyone explain Head-On or Dodge. Well, Dodge 'em, we got some from by Atari, but look at this. This is the most detailed information of how to play Dodge 'em or Head-On. How do you change lanes? Well, you move the joystick. Thanks, Synapse Software. What other options do we have? So you have 1 to 4 players that can play Dodge Racer. No way, it can't be 4 players simultaneous. It was possible on the Atari computer. In multiplayer modes, the players will alternate, after each crash. So it's not simultaneous. They can also compete against each other in player option 2A. Each player will alternate controlling the crash car. Remember, the crash car has predetermined speed, and then we have game options to restore or non-restore the track. One car or 2 car, and then 2 car works the same, but you have 2 crash cars hunting you down. Whoa, 2 cars at once? I don't think we've seen that. We've seen a lot of clones and copies of Head-On and Dodge 'em. So how do you speed up? You push the button down. And game playing hints, nice. So this is a pretty cool manual, bare bones, no pictures, but it's doing kind of like Atari does, which is nice. Anything else? Nope. Slip behind the wheel of your racer. You're looking at 6 full lanes of glowing white dots. All you have to do is scoop them up. As you move your joystick, the engine revs and the action begins. You speed around the track, picking up points while the computer jam car hops lanes trying to crash head-on into your racer. Oh, they said head-on. That was the first one by Sega. Dodge Racer is an arcade-style game with real-time machine language graphics and sound. The computer controls 1 or 2 jam cars bent on one thing, destroying your racer. So there you go. System requirements. In 1981, for the Atari 400 800 computer, you need 16K memory for cassette, 24K for disc. There you go. You can have up to 4 controllers. And just like the Atari manuals, all the different game options, 12 different options, and then the rubric showing you what they do. That's a cool homage. We haven't seen something trying on the computer doing what the VCS is doing. All right, let's pop it in and play. This is Dodge Racer for your Atari home computer, released at some point in 1981 by Synapse Software. I'm going to go ahead and plug in 2 controllers to see if we do get simultaneous play or not. So there you go. There's our title screen, Dodge Racer by Synapse Software. All right, so we have the options. Yeah, I think it was 18 or 17 different game options. Oh, 12. That's right, 12 game options. And then we have how many players. We'll do game 2, player 1, and then push start. And there we go. Yes, we're in. It's Dodge 'em or Head-On for the computer, Atari computer. So can we keep up this pace? I don't think so. As long... Yep. You have to think ahead. If you ever played it in the arcades or Dodge 'em for the Atari, it's the it is a lot of fun. This actually came out before Pac-Man, which surprised me because I thought the whole dot collecting craze was from top-down maze games, not from Head-On or Dodge 'em. This was one of the first we ever saw of collect all the dots and then move on to the next level. Is that? Oh, they're giving me 4 lives. That's nice. But it's the kind of game that's, when you're watching it, it doesn't have the same draw as playing it. When you're playing it, it is more frantic, crazier to play. Oh, is that end of the game over? Can I go again? Oh, if I push start, it just starts a whole new round. I want to play with a different game mode. So if we do this one and go back, there we go. So if we go back here, let's do 2 players, game 2. Let's go do game 4 with 2A. So pushing start, and now we're going again. This looks like... It is nice. It's simultaneous. So I'm using 2 controllers at the same time. It is really fast paced. This is probably the fastest home version of Hang On or Dodge 'em we've seen. And this is simultaneous. So we have 2 player simultaneous play available. Don't have anybody with me tonight, but cool that it's there. I love it. All right, so let's do, if we do 3 or 4 players, how does that work? It looks like only the simultaneous, yeah, 2 player, I don't know why they say A, it sounds like alternating, but 2 player simultaneous is that mode, and then if you want to do 4 player, let's try game mode 6 with 4 players. How does this work? So it looks like it's a computer player that's going first, and this is the first person that was picked. I'm taking a look at the, oh yeah, misjudged that one. Oh, I see, so it's going player 2 now, and then whoever the player 2 is this? Okay, second controller for this one for player 2, but it's alternating play. They could have done something else with that option. A system that has the ability to play 4 players, and they don't do them at the same time? Come on. And this one is, yeah, you have to have the 3rd controller plugged in to this one. All right, so let's go back to player 1, and I'm going to refer to the manual on this one to see the different game modes. We scroll all the way to the bottom. Let's see what else we got. We got non-restore, restore 1 car, 2 car, and then speed up. So let's try game mode 9 and see what that one's like. So if we do option 9, and then we'll do 1 player, let's take a look at this game option. And, oh, nice. So it's 2 cars. Is this 2 computers? It looks like it is. It is 2 computer cars, so I couldn't control the second car. So you have to play against 2 at the same time. Man, if you weren't even doing good with 1, how would you be able to handle 2? That's insane. But cool challenge. Have not seen that as one of the game modes for head-on or dodge 'em. I mean, look at this. This is, wow. And they even can clip you on the sides. I do get these vibes, though. I'm feeling like I'm playing a Atari 5200 instead of just a straight-up computer game. So, an excellent arcade game for the Atari home computer, for sure. Game over. Of all the home clones that we've seen so far, this one's one of the best. With all the different game modes, it does have 4-player alternating, and if we go to the manual, let me see the different game modes we can pick from here. Let me try one more out for us. Going to the end of the manual, so we got the 2-car. Let's try game mode 8. And I also want to just try speed up and see what that one was. All right, so let's go back to, let's do this one, 12. I want to see the speed up. What's speed up like? Oh, with 2 cars. Oh my gosh. There's no way. Look, it is. And the speed up just progressively gets faster and faster. And it's already quick. If I push on the accelerator, I'm already flying. Wow. Yeah, you got to be a pro dodge them head-on guy to play that one. Okay, so if we do a different game mode, we'll do game mode 8. And same thing with 1 player. Last game mode we'll test out. Okay, and it looks about the same, at least from what I can tell. Okay, that is fantastic. Of all the games we played so far up to this point, that is one of the best arcade conversions at home, and especially on the computer. Yeah, it is very, very fast. Well, at least they have different game modes where you can go even faster than that. The other thing, too, is we are playing on a computer that's a little too quick. Like, we have, so it might be going faster than the original intended to go. But for all the other games we've seen up to this point, definitely above average from a standpoint of every game we played. I'm going to go 4 stars for Dodge Racer. It is an excellent game to play at home. It's not one of the best ever that you could play, but if you think about the other games we played in 1981, like the Asteroids, that's co-op, or multiplayer Space Invaders and things of that nature, this one's great. Yeah, there we go. So another 4-star we got in the chat. There we go, Dodge Racer, a 4-star game when it came out in 1981. Let's see what our next game is after Dodge Racer. And it's another game on the Atari home computer. This is called Daze. Let's take a look at Daze, starting with no box. We just have an advertisement flyer. So this is by APX, Atari Program Exchange. And there's the cassette tape and the 5 1/4 disc, and just an example of the screenshot. We have a manual, though, for Daze. Let's check it out. So this is by Atari Program Exchange by Gray Chang. Way to go, Gray. Claim more hydrants than your opponent, because you're playing as dogs, I guess. Let's take a look and see what Daze is about. The manual says, oh, here we go. We got some of the trademarks of, in 1981, look at what Atari had. The 400, 800 home computer, the 410 program recorder, the 810 disk drive, the 820 printer, 40-column printer, the 830 or the 825 80-column printer, thermal printer, and then the acoustic modem, the 830. Which we were playing, I guess that was Combat that we were playing that one on, or tried to play it on. So intro, Daze is a fast-paced 2-player action game of skill, strategy, and luck. That's basically every game. You control your dog with your joystick. Each time a fire hydrant pops up on the screen, you scramble to claim it before your opponent. Wait, we're going to see dogs peeing on fire hydrants in this game? You claim a hydrant by running into it or by shooting your bone at it. If you shoot your bone and miss, you'll have to retrieve the bone before you can shoot it again. I didn't know I was going to be saying you can shoot your bone and miss today. I didn't know that was going to come out of my mouth, but there you go. Each time a hydrant is claimed, it changes to the color of the claimant, and another unclaimed hydrant pops up. As the game progresses, more and more claimed hydrants fill the screen. You can run right through your own hydrants, but you run into your opponents, you're penalized. A reckless driver drives through occasionally, knocking out hydrants in his path. You must be careful to stay out of his way. The winner is the player with the higher score when the time limit runs out, or the first player to score 16 points. What do you need to have to play Daze? Well, for cassette version, you need 8K of RAM, disc, you need 24K, and the disc drive. And wait a second, so it looks like a 2-player only game. So I'll have other controller plugged in just in case. Darn, an episode where we don't have a guest on the show and lots of 2-player games. Opportunity missed, but will not be scored against, because if you can play with 2, it's always a better game. All right, loading Daze in a memory. How do you get started? We don't need to breeze through. We don't need to do any of that because it'll just play for us. When the program displays Daze, there'll be some introductions, and then a fire hydrant, scoreboard, 2 dogs, and then you can do different options. Hold your joystick with the trigger toward the upper left. 8 joystick directions correspond to the 8 directions that your dog can move. So it's using the original joystick of the Atari VCS. You can play this game for your computer. You and your opponent claim the flashing hydrant. There's 2 ways to claim it: run, and then shooting your bone at it. Bones can't pass through fire hydrants, and then every once in a while there'll be a reckless driver. Sometimes a car knocks out the playfield, and then how do you score in Daze? Daze can end in one of 3 ways: if one player is ahead by 16 points, or one player is hit by a reckless driver, or the time limit runs out. And then how do we start the game when the time limit runs out? Yeah, lots of information that I think is pretty simple. It seems like a very easy game. They say how to set up the options, handicap, joystick, and then helpful hints. Yes, they're following the formula of the Atari VCS manuals. Whenever you bought those games, they give the exact same thing. So cool to see on the Atari home computer. Eventually, we're going to see this architecture used for their sequel console next year in '82, the Atari 5200. At this point, I've been saying Atari 2600, but actually they've just been calling it the VCS throughout the life of the system. It's only whenever the 5200 comes out they start referring to it as the old school Atari as the 2600. But right now it's just the Atari at home. All right, so remember to use your bone. It travels twice as fast as your opponent. How do you get stuck? If you're frozen, you lose points, and avoiding the reckless driver. And then technical information, nice. So if you're an Atari computer programmer, this section might interest you. So they describe how they wrote everything in assembly language. And then they talk about how they did the graphics, 2-line resolution players, and then how the action and sounds are synchronized using a V count register. So cool stuff there. and a great touch of a manual helping the player and the programmer. Nice. Gray, if that is your real name. All right, so that was info on Dog Daze. Let's pop it in and play. Released at some point in 1981. Here's Dog Daze for the Atari home computer. And I got 2 controllers plugged in. Not sure how well it's going to work with only one person here. But here we go. We want to start a new game, and then you can select the time limit if you need to. Let's go. Yep, how much is that doggy in the window? So right off the bat, it looks like we can move on the left dog who's yellow, and then the second player is the right dog who's brown. And all you do is you scramble to the fire hydrant, and you can throw your bone. I see, and then the second player moves themselves around and can throw their fire or their bone or just touch it. Nice. So we don't see any dogs urinating on fire hydrants, but it's the premise that is still there. Hilarious. It's like 2 dogs fighting over claiming land, basically. And you can see at the top of the screen, it's showing the color based on who is currently in the lead. So if I kept playing, let's see if I keep playing as one player. Now, of someone who's been playing all these games, this one actually plays really well. This plays like a later Atari VCS game. The way that it controls, and I have... Do I have to go get it? Yes, you have to go pick up your bone. Nice. So if you don't make contact with the fire hydrant, check it out. It just sticks, and so you pick it up. It just plays very, very well control-wise. Do I have another one? Yes. Go there. And you can see I'm capturing more and more at the top of the screen telling us we got yellow that's about to max out. All right, so this is one of those games that you probably would play, have a really fun on the weekend with another friend. Where's the car, though? We haven't got run over yet. Can I go all the way? Yes. And they just repeat how much of that doggy in the window tune. Nice. So playing as 2 dogs for a video game. A cool premise and a simple idea, and it works really well. To have 2 people to play would be great, because you're just basically trying to get the most fire hydrants claimed. And it's not just walking over it. You can actually throw your a bone to see if you can get it. Oh, I'm playing with 2 controllers at once, so it's a little harder to do as one player. But it'd be great to play with 2. Man, I'd love to have a guest to check some of these out, because this one it plays like an arcade game. Very simple, easy to play. I really wanted to see the car, or how the car comes out, but it looks like it's not happening. Or maybe you have to play longer, because I'm sure if you play with 2 people, it's not going to be a quick game. You'll be going back and forth on who has control of different things. Of the fire hydrants. Yeah, and if you touch the walls or the sides, you have a brief moment where you're stunned. Oh, there it is. Oh, I see. So if you don't get to the fire hydrant in time, and if you wait too long, then the car shows up. We're not chasing cars as dogs. We're going to get run over by cars. I just wonder what the idea of the developer was. Like, I want to make a game where dogs are peeing on fire hydrants. Can we make that happen? Yes, you can. And if this one doesn't get claimed, we should have the car show up again. Uh-oh, yep. Is it random every time? Oh, no, it's about the same place. At least that time was. Cool. All right, so that was Dog Daze. Never heard of that one. Let's see, for all the other games we played up to this point, Dog Daze is, I don't know if I can claim it as average. I guess since it's a single screen game, it is 2-player action, which is fun. It's something different that we've seen before. Yeah, so I heard 2 stars from the chat. I'm going to still say about average. The play control, though, is very good for the time. So I'm going to say 3 stars. It's still about average, considering every other game we played up to this point. Very good. So Dog Daze. Let's move on and see what our next game is. This is Dog Patch for the Bally Astrocade, one of the other consoles you could have had in 1981. Let's see what the box is like. Bally Videocade cartridge. This is Dog Patch, a real down-home skeet shoot. The target spins through the air as you raise your shotgun and fire. Good shooting keeps the target bouncing between the players. An explosive 12-gauge juggling act builds a big score. Blast the target past your opponent to score points. Play long or short games and vary the number of targets, 1 or 2 players. Any other artwork we have for Dog Patch? And just looks like a cartridge there. And we do have some gameplay footage on the left. So we've seen this game in the arcades. This was something they had in, I believe it was 78, where you shot a can. It was called tin can or can shooting, where you shot a can back and forth. So this is a home version of that arcade game. Here's the manual for Dog Patch. And something they do that's interesting in manuals at the time, take a look at the screenshot in the bottom right corner, just right next to my head. That screenshot is not a photograph of the TV screen. Sometimes we saw this on Atari, Superman, and specifically for the manual, they're not taking screenshots. They're recreating what the game looks like using construction paper or drawing it on paper and then scanning that in. Because to take a picture of the screen is more trouble than it's worth. Very, very interesting. Okay, so here's the loading instructions. How do you work the Bally Professional Arcade? You turn the channel to 3 or 4, then you connect the hand controllers, insert the game cartridge, and then press reset. And that's how you load a game up. Take aim and fire at a can that's tossed into the air in this down-home ski shoot. I keep saying that. Is that a term that people use in the South? Score points for every can you can hit. Extra points are rewarded for knocking it over the head of your opponent. And then how do you start the game? You press 1, and we're going to see this. It's the use with Bally Astrocade. It shows you which games you want to play, and then you use the keypad. And then, by the way, the keypad on the system itself. Your controller does not have a keypad. And then you use the hand control function for the Dog Patch. You use the trigger, which they had a trigger on the side, and then they had a knob, which is the analog knob on the Bally Astrocade. Yeah, maybe you should try it down home, right? Object of the game is to score the highest number of points by target hitting the most cans. With 2 good marksmen, the can will bounce back and forth several times before being shot. If this is a 2-player only game, this is going to be a quick game because I don't know anybody else that's controlling the other side. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the number of cans remaining to be tossed and the word bonus located at the upper side of the screen. How do we score? Got to get that high score in 1981. And then to play again, you just reset, and then that is it with the Astrovision Incorporated. All right, so let's pop it in and play the cartridge Dog Patch, released for the Bally Astrocade at some point in 1981, and you can see it's published by Astrovision. So this is the opening scene we always have for Bally Astrocade. Which game do you want to play? And you can see there's 4 others that are built in: Gunfight, Checkmate, Calculator, and Scribbling. They were the built-in games you could play. So let's do push number 1, and I don't know if everybody saw in the bottom left corner, it showed the console itself. The Bally Astrocade had the number pad on the console, so you had to go or get close to the console and then push 1, and then now it's asking what number of cans. How many cans do you want to do? I don't know. 60? We can do 60? Okay. So there we go. The game's in. It's playing. I only have one controller in my hand right now, the left controller. We actually need to plug in another controller. So on this machine, we have to go in and plug it in. So let me plug in joystick 2 and reset, and now we're back. Now we'll do Dog Patch. How many cans do we want? Yes, 60. 60 cans. So I have 2 joysticks you can see plugged in. I can move left and right side, and this is a quick game. You can see that I can move. It's like shotgun fire, but you bounce the can back and forth, and it's really hard to do with one player. So to control 2 controllers at the same time is so hard. But you can see it bounces back and forth, and you get bonuses based on who gets the last shot. But it does mean you have to move the analog joystick. There's a knob at the top, and you can see how kind of fine-tuned the control is. It's a really quick shoot 'em game to play. It's more of like a parlor game or arcade carnival kind of game. But this is it. This is the whole game. Of all the other games we've seen up to this point, to do something this quick, like one game mode, and all we're doing is losing every time. Because I'm not able to shoot it's waiting for the other player. I'm not able to shoot both players at the same time. Let's see if we can. Yeah, you got to be really fast with 2 controllers. Oh my gosh. But it'd be really fun to play with 2 people at a time because it requires just very fast reflexes. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Well, it is essentially the same game we played in the 70s. In the 70s, it was okay. It wasn't. It was not even close to average. So for this one, because we're getting into games that have multiple game modes and lots of options, I would even say it would be a good time if you had a Bally Astrocade and this is all you had, but it wouldn't be a long time. In a quick amount of time, you would lose interest in just shooting a can back and forth. So I'm going to call this one a bad game. This is not necessarily a 1.5, but it's still in the bad range, which is down here in 2 stars. So I'm going to go 2 stars for Dog Patch. There's no other game modes. There's nothing else besides this. Yeah, so it's a 2-star game for 1981. After that, let's see what our next game is. Oh, we're now in England, and this is the Sinclair ZX80. I am going to only refer to the sequel and how they would say it in England, but this is the ZX80. I'll say it as yank as possible. This one sadly will not run. It's here merely as a placeholder. This is Double Breakout, which is kind of like Pong doubles in the arcade in the 70s, but for your home computer. And there it is in the bottom left corner. The ZX80 is like a larger calculator. The keypad or that keyboard is not even really a keyboard. It is more of a chiclet or punched rubber stamped keyboard. You would not be able to type on this. In fact, you wouldn't be able to type quickly. Each keystroke, you have to take a second or 2 between each one. So just imagine playing a computer game on that. It is rough. This one does not load for us, but because it's a Pong game, I'm going to go with 2 stars for this one. If anyone is able to help me out to load and play or has the desire to see the original ZX80 home computer in England, then we'll re-rate it. But in the meantime, no, it'll just be 2 stars. Yeah, well, membrane. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. That is a membrane keyboard. We're talking, you wouldn't be able to type at all, at least quickly on that one. All right, so after Double Breakout, let's move on to our next release. We're now back on the Atari home computer, and this is Drac is Back. Let's take a look at Drac is Back artwork. There we go, an original scan of a beat-up box. Love it. Cool, very nice artwork, and it's very much like the homebrew, let's make it ourselves. This is by Synchro Incorporated, or SI, Software Division, for the Atari home computer. And then we have an advertisement by Synchro with some other releases, which we've seen Alien Hell, and this is the Drac is Back on the right. They say that it's roam the 200-room castle of Drac, but make certain you have wooden stakes and silver bullets. A non-graphic, multicolored adventure with enlarged text. Now, that's a terrible advertisement. Why would you want to advertise it's a non-graphic, multicolored adventure? Boring. And there you go. There's an example of a screenshot of Drac is Back. All right, let's pop it in play. Let's see what it's like. At some point in 1981, this is Drac is Back, released by Synchro. Developed by Ted Claus. Way to go, Ted. Clogs. Oh, here we go. So abbreviations. We got all the commands. You have attack, north, south, east, west, drop, take, inventory, magic ring, and then what inventory? Wait, I wasn't done. That was a lot of information. I didn't push any button. We're playing on the Atari computer and have a joystick plugged in. I did not push anything, and it already went to the next screen. All right, well, now I'm going to cheat a little bit and take a picture of it because there's no way I can remember all those commands to play. It's going to come so quick. Let's see if I can get a screenshot of it first. Man, that was fast. And I didn't push anything. It's like we didn't have a manual or find a manual for this one. So to play this is all we got on how we're supposed to play. All right, choose your game. Drac is Back. Do we want a time limit? No, we do not want a time limit. Do we want easy, hard, or challenge? Easy. Definitely easy. Drac is Back. Please wait, I'm building the castle. You will get a percentage of the gold in the room when you leave if it has been cleared. Hint, beware, or Igor, demons, and Drac. What is this? If it's a non-graphic game, then what exactly are we going to play then? We're getting some graphics in color from the text, but yeah, you have to memorize commands like it's a text adventure game. There we go. So we got GP A, S, B, S, T. A is armor. S is sword. B is silver bullets. Now, I took a screenshot of this, and I'm reading the commands because I couldn't remember the commands. But we got what store we're in now, and hours in the castle, gold in the bank. So if we go to what transaction do we want? Let's say we're done dealing. And here we go. We're in room 1. Exits are E and S. Okay, we'll go east. And we're dead. You had no gold in the bank, 3,000 gold pieces. You needed more experience on level 3. To play again, press start. Oh my gosh. We're already dead that fast? I'm not getting high hopes for Drac is back. No time limit. We're playing on easy. Oh wait, so easy. And then we died. That's crazy. But if it's building the castle, it must be random every time. That's my guess. All right, so this time let's go to the bank. Can we go to the bank? Oh wait, there. Your account has 0 gold pieces, input amount for deposit or withdrawal. So we have no money, so... Oh, wait, we do have 3,000 gold, but I guess we could deposit money, but I want to buy stuff, because maybe we didn't buy anything that we would need to carry on, I guess. So it's got role-playing tropes to Drac is back. Yeah, the fastest we've ever died was Calibeth at one point. We haven't seen Telengard yet. It will be coming up. I keep getting warnings by L. Curtis B. Oh man, I'm scared to see what happens when we actually do play Telengard. But this is the fastest death we've ever seen. We'll just say 0. Here, this one. I want there. 0. Okay, so I want to buy something. Let's buy a sword. Got it. Okay, so we bought the sword. We have stakes. We'll buy stakes. How many? 1 stake. We want to buy armor. I'll buy that armor. And I'm just picking the command, so I'm typing in the numbers. And we've seen this for the role-playing games in 1979, 1980, where you have just commands that you're typing in, and after you get through the commands, then you can finally play the game. But most of the games aren't even graphical. Some are even text only. So we want to cross. Yes, we're going to deal with Dracula. Do we have any money left? We got 1,479. We have bullets. Where's the gun? Did I miss the gun? I don't see the gun. We'll just say we're done dealing. All right, so we're in room 1. Exits are east and south. So I trade east. Let's go south. And now we're in room 2. Oh my gosh, yes, it is. In room 2, we have a werewolf and a vampire, but there is no graphics. Exactly what they said. They're telling us with text what's here. Now, we played another game called Temple of Apshai, where the manual was very large and gave you lots of descriptions that you'd read. So, for example, you step into room 2 and you read the manual. Room 2 consists of moldy walls, and they give you a lot of descriptions. And so that kind of works if you want the imagination to read that. But this one, we didn't get a manual. Maybe they have the manual and they're doing that, but this is pretty much nothing. The vampire cowers from the cross. Good, go away. This one also doesn't have any joystick controls, but I actually need to look at the command. So I have an attack. Oh, werewolf rips us, and the vampire got staked. So I pushed the attack command, and it looks like I destroyed the vampire. What about the werewolf? The werewolf rips me, and he's still alive, but I have no idea how. So this is us attacking and fighting in a pseudo role-playing game in 1981. I don't even know if I can beat this guy up. I did buy the sword, so I'm attacking him with the sword, but I wonder if I need something silver. I bet I need a silver bullet. Let's try leaving this guy. So we'll go south. Did we get... oh, he chased us. Okay, we'll go east. Vampire cowers from the cross. So you can see I'm still moving around, but this is it. It's only text-based. And it's not doing something like an adventure game, giving us more descriptors. This is it. All right, well, that's rough. So that's Drac is back in 1981. We've seen a few other text adventure or text games that are like this, but they were done better, and they were done a year or 2 before this. So for all the other games we played up to this point, I'm not going to say just because I died, but it's still bad. It's still... Oh, 1.5. Yeah, it's still in the bad range, definitely. Now, we didn't have a manual, so we didn't get the full experience, but that is really bad game design. You boot the game up, and you have a few seconds to read the screen with all the commands, ooh, that's not very good. So yeah, we're going to say 1.5 stars for Drac is back. It is a very bad game. Sorry, Drac, you're not back. All right, let's move on and see what our next game is. We're next playing Draco in the arcade. Let's take a look at Draco and see what it's about. Starting with the artwork, here we go. This is the advertisement flyer. This is by Cadelsa, which means we're going to Spain. If you look in the far bottom right corner, you'll see from Barcelona. So this is a Spanish release, and there's the example of the arcade cabinet. Really can't make out the control panel as well, but you see the artwork around the outside. It looks awesome. Really cool. For controls, I don't know what's going on there. Looks like we got down right now. It looks like there's something messed up with the way they did the controls, at least on this blueprint. There's our arcade marquee for Draco, and then it's just an example of the screenshot. All right, let's step to the arcades in Spain and play some Draco, released by Cadelsa at some point in 1981. There we go. We got some of the artwork, not the same artwork we saw in the cabinet. I really wanted to see that. I guess that guy on the left's Draco? Maybe? All right, so for attract mode, did they have anything for us? Any good presentation in 1981? Looks like the usual, but this will be in Spanish. All right, so really nothing showing off the gameplay here. All right, so putting a coin in, let's try Draco for the very first time. We have ganadores, and what pulse are we playing? So I want to push start on player 1. All right, we're in. We're playing Draco. So I'm moving the joystick around. I can move. Oh, okay. I can scroll. It's not on one screen. Interesting. Well, I can't scroll to the other side though. So the game boots up, and I can only scroll one screen to the left and then one to the right. Well, can I keep going to the left then? No, it only. That's bizarre. It can only go one screen to the left. What about going up? Can I go up to the top? Is it going to scroll up here? No, it is not. It only scroll. We've never seen that before for any of the any game we've seen on the channel. It only scrolls one over to the side and then back, and that's it. Si quiere más reservas entre monedas. Okay, so you got to put more money in to play again. So we put a coin in and push and start. All right, here we go. So we're playing again now. This. Oh no way! So the fire button is not a fire button. I don't believe this. Okay, so hold on. I got to back this up to confirm this. I'm going to go back to the artwork. This looks like it's controlling just like Robotron 2084. I want to look at the arcade cabinet. I think it is. There are 2 joysticks and then just a start button for the controls. So they didn't have this correct in MAME. But look at the arcade cabinet is 2 joysticks. So this is the very first twin stick shooter we've ever played. It blew my mind for a sec there because I was just moving around with one joystick as the character, and then I tried to shoot and I realized that there wasn't a shoot button. It's using 2 joysticks. So one joystick moves the character around, the other joystick fires in all the directions. And here, I'll do it again. Put another coin and push and start. I thought we first were going to see this with Robotron 2084. So look, I can shoot with the other joystick, and I have a limited range, it seems. Oh, I can't touch the walls, or I get a rainbow explosion. But whenever you move around, I can move and shoot multiple directions at the same time. And yeah, I can see the arrow now at the bottom. Oh yeah, this is awesome. So I'm able to move using both joysticks. And I have 8-way movement and 8-way shooting. First time we've ever seen that on the show. Now, it is a little bit off or different, is the best way to put it. Oh, I see now the arrows at the bottom. Oh, wait, I can't move back to the left? Wait a second, what? All right, let's try to shoot this one out. There we go. And so what you do is you blow away all the rainbow pieces, and if you blow away all the rainbow pieces, then you get that score. Oh, it won't let me go. Oh, what? The 2 screen movement's a little bit wonky. But you see, you blow away everything here. Let's see if I can do it all before they destroy me. But if you touch the balls that bounce around, or you touch any of the balls, then you'll die, and you'll get that rainbow explosion, death. Then we go for the question mark one. So you can see I have much more ways to shoot and move. I can't believe this. I thought Robotron 2084 did this first. This is awesome. And difficult to explain unless you've done it yourself, where you've played a twin-stick shooter. You'd understand how easy it is to move and shoot at the same time. I don't have really long shots, though. Oh, and I touched the edge on accident. Okay, final one. Final game. Or was that my final game? It was. Okay, so whenever the game ends in Spanish, it says, that was your final game. That's all you got. Unless you put another coin in. Is it pesos they use in Spain, or is it, what's the currency they would have used in 1981 in Spain? Because the euro, there's no euro, and pesos is Mexico, so what's the currency for Spain? What coin am I putting in this arcade cabinet? All right, we cleared away that screen. Moving on to the next one. Oh, can we get the mystery? What's the mystery? It saved it. I put the coin in, and it remembered it didn't reset all the walls. Okay, so now we're going to another game mode. Oh, this means it continued the gameplay from before. What? Now we're doing a different game mode where I'm just moving around and avoiding the walls is what I'm guessing. Yeah, and I'm using my two-way joystick to shoot everything with... can I move to the left? I can. Nice. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay, so you have to shoot the points when they come up, but it's a different game mode than we had before. So I'm doing something different. And I have a time limit that's keeping track at the bottom. Let me see if I can move my way over here. There we go. Yeah. Very bizarre. It's still only one screen to the left, one screen to the right. I can't go any further over here. Okay, this is so cool. Now for the twin-stick shooter idea, it gets way high marks. Never had a game controlled this way. And you see what I'm trying to do? You just shoot your way to the points until you get to the end. And then what do we do next? What's happening now? And now we're doing a different one. So now we have dots we're collecting. And then if I touch the walls, yep, touch the walls, you die in a flash of rainbow. And that was our final game. Okay, so going to Spain, I did not expect this. The graphics look kind of simple. You know, for the arcade, but the play control is incredible. So put another quarter in and push and start. I can't believe this. And look, it's taken over where we left off. It's playing the next game mode, which is very rare for the arcade to continue on. Can I shoot past? Okay, so I can't shoot past the dots until I collect them, but I can probably make a path through this way. There we go. Just don't touch the walls. It's almost like we're playing Berserk. Okay, so my expectations were so low for this game. Because usually we think of something from Spain or Zakaria. When it's released, we think of it like a bootleg or a bad game or a copy of something. No, this is very original. This is completely different than what I expected. And now we're doing this third game mode. I now want to see what's next. How far does it go? And the play control is so cool. Being able to move and shoot any direction you want. The twin-stick shooter thing is awesome. Alright, so now I guess we have now repeated and we're back. So it's not doing the exact same map we had before, but it's the same formula. Blow everything out, or all the rainbow dots around it, and then move on to the next one. If you're familiar with Robotron 2084, it's every game that you play is just shooting everything to kill it, to kill all the enemies on the screen. Oh! Oh, so it can play player 2. Okay, so I'll try to put 2 coins in and see if we can do that. Oh man, at least you die in a rainbow explosion. Yeah, the graphics are primitive, but the idea is incredible. And think of all the other things that you could see in the arcade. You know, Galaga, Frogger, Donkey Kong, and so forth. Yeah, they're beating it all on the graphics front, and then the originality. This one has the originality. It's 2 joysticks, and you're controlling the movement and shooting independently. Alright, so let's put some more in. And what happens if I push the 2-player? Alright, so I'm going to, just to see, because we only saw 2 joysticks on the control panel. Oh, we can put our name in. Nice. So we got the high score. Can I? Oh, you have to use the other joystick, right? Yes. Gotcha. So it uses the 2 joysticks to put in your name, too. So cool. And then push the... Wait, push what to go to the next one? This is the... There's no initial, by the way. I'm putting in... How many characters is that? You could put in so many characters for your high score. That's crazy. And then push the pulse. Start. There. Yeah, it did put it in. But you have... That's a whole string of characters you could put in for your high score. Man, makes me want to go to Spain right now and put a high score in for Draco. If it was 1981, yeah, it'd be awesome. You can put in your full name. If you had your full name, you could put it in. I had lots of friends that had really long names, and they didn't want to put in anything in the arcade because they couldn't. Either their initials weren't there. I actually had no middle name, so whenever I go to the arcades, I'd make something up as my name because I didn't have 3 letters I could put in. So here we go. Let's try pushing start on 2-player. And I want to see if they have anything different, or is it just alternating play? It looks like alternating. Yeah, because we saw the 2 joysticks were on the control panel. I wouldn't expect them to be able to play 2 players simultaneous. But here's hoping. I'm already surprised. So second player, it's now being controlled. Yeah, same thing. So alternating play. But we have different game modes for the arcade. A very bizarre flip screen thing going on here. Just one way to go back and forth, and that's it. Haven't seen that one before. And being able to control your movement and your shots at the same time is revolutionary. Now, is it as smooth as Robotron 2084? No, it is not. It's close, but that one does play a little bit better. You can see that the shots I fire aren't as far away. It has a limit of range, and then as you move around, it's not using the kind of graphics that are as flashy as the other things we've seen in 1981. But, oh man, the different game modes, I can't believe it. We went to 3 different game modes for this one. Alright, so I can see this, if this was an import, and this was an arcade in North America, I could see people just passing by and not realizing what they're playing, because the twin-stick shooting thing, no one's ever heard of it. This is the first one to do it. So this one, I would say, is a much higher average game. Yeah, this is an excellent game. This is around, but is it one of the best games you could ever play, is the question. So I'm definitely going to give this one excellent for 4 stars. For one of the best games you ever play, I'm going to do 4.5 because of introducing something we haven't seen before. Just because we see the first game doesn't mean we need to rate it so high. Sometimes a game has to walk and do something the first time and experiment with it, and it doesn't really work as well for another game to run with that. So with that formula, I'm thinking 4 or 4.5 stars for Draco. Yeah, because of the different game modes, yeah, I'll do 4.5 stars. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and to play it yourself, if you've been playing all these games like I have, to have 2 sticks, one for movement, one for shooting, it feels awesome. It's kind of like the way I felt when we played Donkey Kong. Moving around and jumping, I was like, this is awesome. Because you play all these other games, to play that the first time is so cool. All right, so that was Draco. A very pleasant surprise for Spanish Arcade. And with that, we have to put our video game playing on pause. We're going to continue playing all the releases in 1981. Pushing through, we got lots to play. Who knows where we're going to go or what we're going to see? That's the fun. Thanks so much for joining me. We will catch you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.